I was 12 years old when my parents decided I was old enough to stay home alone at night. It was not a sudden decision. They lived in a small town where nothing bad ever seemed to happen. The streets were calm. The houses had big yards. Neighbors smiled and waved. It was the kind of place where people left their doors unlocked during the day and trusted everyone around them. That night was supposed to be perfect for me. The house was quiet. The sun had already gone down. My parents left a little cash on the kitchen counter and told me to order pizza. I remember feeling proud. I felt grown up. I felt trusted. I felt free. I stayed upstairs in my room playing video games. The glow from the TV filled the dark room. Time moved fast. My stomach growled, and that is when I remembered the pizza. I went downstairs and ordered from the pizza place close to our house. It was only a few blocks away. I waited, playing another game, listening for the doorbell. When it rang, I ran downstairs with the money in my hand. I opened the door just enough to take the pizza. The delivery man stood there. He looked older. His beard was long and messy. His eyes felt heavy, like they were resting on me longer than they should. I handed him the money. While giving me my change, he looked past me, into the house. His eyes moved slowly, like he was studying the space behind me. That was when I felt uncomfortable. A strange feeling settled in my chest. Something felt wrong, even though I did not understand why. I closed the door quickly and locked it. I ate alone in the kitchen. The house felt quieter than before. After eating, I put the leftover slices in the fridge just like my mom told me to. Then I went back upstairs. Hours passed. The house stayed silent. Then the doorbell rang again. It was late. Too late. I assumed my parents had come home early. I walked toward the stairs and called out, expecting a familiar response. Instead, I heard a voice from the other side of the door. It sounded calm, but it did not feel safe. My body froze. I did not open the door. I stood still. My heart beat faster. I slowly stepped back from the stairs. I felt watched. I moved upstairs quietly, deciding to ignore it. I knew opening the door was wrong. As I reached the middle of the stairs, the knocking started. Harder. Louder. I realized then that whoever was outside could see me. The front door had glass at the top. Even in the dark, I could see the shape of a head. Still, facing me. I ran. I locked myself in my parents' bedroom and called my mom. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. The moment she answered, my fear spilled out. Everything felt unreal. My voice sounded small. I stayed on the phone while she contacted the police. The house was silent again. Too silent. The windows were slightly open because it was summer. That is when I heard the sound that changed everything. The backyard gate opened. Slowly. Carefully. Someone was trying not to be heard. My heart felt like it was going to explode. I stayed still. The phone pressed against my ear. I barely breathed. Then I heard footsteps. Inside the house. They were not loud. They were careful. Heavy steps moving across the floor downstairs. Someone was walking through my home. I hid under the bed. I felt like I stopped existing. The footsteps moved closer. They reached the stairs. Each step sounded heavier than the last. I imagined someone searching every room. I imagined them opening doors. I imagined them finding me. The footsteps stopped outside the bedroom. The doorknob moved. Once, twice, then again. The lock held. There was a pause, a long one. Then the footsteps walked away, down the stairs, back into the house. I stayed frozen under the bed. I did not move. I did not cry. I did not breathe. Minutes felt like hours. Then I heard loud voices, heavy boots, fast movement, someone shouting my name. The police had arrived. When I finally came out, my legs barely worked. Officers were everywhere. The back door was open. A window had been slid open wide. Someone had entered my home. The police searched everything. They asked questions. My parents rushed home. The house never felt the same after that night. The next day, my parents took me to the pizza place. I did not see the delivery man. The manager acted defensive, angry. He told us to leave. That was the end of it. No arrest, no answers. Years passed. I grew up. But that feeling never left me. Even now, when I am alone in the house, I remember the sound of the gate opening. I remember the footsteps. I remember the door handle moving. I still live in the same house. And sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I wonder if that man ever really left, or if he is still watching. This happened during spring break in March of 2022. I was in my second year of college at the time. I remember the month clearly because everything still felt fresh. Classes were stressful, life felt heavy, and all I wanted was a break. Just a few days away from phones, noise, and responsibility. My friends and I decided to rent a cabin in South Carolina. There were 6 of us in total, 4 guys and 2 girls. We had known each other since freshman year and trusted each other completely. The plan was simple: drink too much, play loud music, stay up late, forget about real life for a while. The cabin was cheap, too cheap for how big it was. 2 floors, a wide porch that wrapped around the whole place, 2 bathrooms, a big living room. It was listed as private land near a lake surrounded by forest. No nearby towns, no neighbors, just trees. The owner sounded strange when we talked to him before the trip. His voice was rough and slow. He warned us not to go too deep into the woods behind the cabin. He mentioned old wells, broken fences, and snakes. He said it was easy to get lost back there. We laughed about it later and joked that he was just trying to scare us. The drive there took longer than expected. Our GPS stopped working almost an hour before we arrived. The road turned into dirt and gravel. Trees crowded in on both sides. The farther we drove, the quieter it became. When the cabin finally appeared, something felt off. It did not look like the photos. The wood looked older. The paint was faded. Some of the shutters hung loose. The windows were dusty. There was a strange smell in the air, like wet wood mixed with old trash. Nobody said much when we got out of the cars. We just stared at it for a moment. We shook it off and joked about it. We unloaded our bags, picked rooms, and started drinking early that night. The first evening felt normal. We grilled food, played music, and laughed around the fire pit. The forest stayed dark and quiet around us. By late night, the cold pushed us inside. That was when I noticed how dark the woods really were. Not normal darkness, not city night darkness. It was complete black. The porch light barely reached past the steps. The trees felt close, like they were leaning toward the house. There were no bugs, no wind, no night sounds, just silence. We went to sleep around 2 in the morning. I had a small room on the ground floor near the kitchen. It had one window that faced the woods. I fell asleep fast, but woke up suddenly around 4 in the morning. I did not know why. I was just awake. My heart was already beating fast. Then I heard it. A soft tapping sound. Slow and steady. Not metal, not mechanical. It sounded like fingers on glass. I turned my head toward the window. There was a man standing right outside. His face was inches from the glass. His skin looked pale. His hair was wild and uneven. He had no shirt on. His eyes were wide open and unblinking. His mouth hung open slightly, like he was breathing through it. He did not move. He just stared at me. His fingers tapped gently against the window. Slow, calm, like he was enjoying it. My body froze. I could not scream. I could not move. My mind felt empty. The tapping got a little faster, like he knew I was awake. Someone else in the house woke up, and sudden movement broke the moment. The man disappeared into the darkness outside. The house filled with panic after that. Everyone was awake. Fear spread fast. Some tried to explain it away. A drunk local, a lost hunter, someone messing around. But I knew better. That man was watching me. We blocked doors and windows and stayed awake in shifts. Nothing else happened that night. In the morning, we went outside. Bare human footprints surrounded the entire cabin. They stopped at every window, every single one. Even the small bathroom window upstairs. That should have been when we left, but we stayed. Night 2 felt different. The laughter felt forced. Music was quieter. Everyone kept looking toward the trees. No one relaxed. We locked everything before going to sleep. Late that night, someone went to the kitchen. Moments later, I felt fear crawl up my spine. There was someone inside the house. The man was standing in the kitchen, naked. His back was covered in long red scratches. He swayed slowly like he was half asleep. He stared at the fridge like he did not understand it. The house felt frozen. We stood together in silence. Fear pressed down on us. When the light came on, the man was gone. The back door stood open. Not broken, not forced. Just open. We left within minutes. No arguments, no hesitation. We grabbed only what we needed and drove until we had enough signal to call for help. Later, we learned the truth was never going to come. The cabin listing vanished from every website. The owner disappeared. No calls, no answers. What stayed with me was the man's face, the way he stared at me through the window like he already knew me. Sometimes, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I still see his eyes in the dark. And I know some places are not meant to be rented. Some places are already occupied. I remember the night very clearly, even though many years have passed. It started with a strange feeling that came from nowhere, a heavy feeling in my chest, like fear without a reason. That night, I did not know yet that this feeling would stay with me for a long time. When I was a teenager, my life changed fast. I moved far away from everything I knew, from busy streets and bright lights to silence and endless trees. My new home was deep in North Idaho, so deep that no other house could be seen. Only forest. Thick, dark forest that never seemed to end. The house was huge, bigger than anything I had lived in before. 2 floors above ground and a big basement below. The basement had many rooms, a gym, a bar, a pool table, and a movie room with big soft chairs and a screen that filled the wall. It felt like a dream house. During the day, the place felt calm, peaceful, almost perfect. But at night, the forest felt different. The trees looked closer. The darkness felt thicker. Sounds traveled in strange ways. One night, I was alone in the house. I went down into the basement to watch a movie. The movie room lights were low. The screen was bright. Outside the windows behind me was only black. No streetlights, no houses, only trees and shadow. At some point during the movie, my body reacted before my mind did. My heart started beating fast. My hands felt cold. I felt like something was wrong, even though nothing had happened yet. I kept looking toward the windows behind me. The glass reflected the screen light, but beyond that was pure darkness. I felt watched. The feeling was strong, deep, like eyes were locked on me from somewhere I could not see. I tried to ignore it. I told myself I was just nervous, that the quiet was getting to me. Still, the feeling did not go away. When the movie ended, the house felt even quieter. I went upstairs. The air felt heavy. Every step echoed too loudly. I remembered I had left lights on in the basement, so I went back down. I turned off the movie room lights and then stopped. Something outside the window moved. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Then I saw him clearly. A man standing just beyond the glass. His clothes were dirty. His hair was wild. His face was stretched into a wide smile that did not feel human at all. In his hand was a knife. The blade tapped softly against the glass. Again and again. Slow, calm, like he was enjoying the moment. My body froze. I could not scream. I could not move. My mind felt empty. I stepped back slowly. My eyes never left him. I moved into the next room to turn off the lights there. That room had a large glass door facing the woods. As soon as the lights went off, I saw him again. He had moved. Now he stood right in front of the glass door. Close. Too close. His smile was still there. His eyes were wide and unblinking. The knife rested in his hand like it belonged there. He did not try to come inside. He did not move. He only watched me. I went upstairs without making a sound. That night, sleep did not come easily. When it finally did, it was light and broken. I woke many times. Each time my heart was racing. Then I heard the sound. A soft tapping. It came from below me, from the basement. The same slow metal sound against glass. Tap, tap, tap. I lay still. I listened. The tapping went on for a long time. Long enough that my fear turned numb. When it finally stopped, the silence felt worse. The tapping returned on other nights. Sometimes faint, sometimes clear. Always slow, always calm. Winter came. Snow covered the ground. The forest turned quiet in a new way. Sounds carried farther. Footsteps sounded louder. One night, while I was alone again, I heard something outside. Slow steps in the snow. Heavy, careful, moving around the house. I stayed still. I listened. Then came a knock on the door. Not loud, not rushed, slow and hollow. I did not answer. I stayed where I was, every muscle tight, every breath shallow. The next morning I went outside. The snow told a story I did not want to read. Footprints surrounded the house. They stopped at every window, every door, like someone had walked around slowly, looking inside. I followed the tracks a short distance into the forest. The prints moved in strange ways, turning, looping, crossing over themselves, like the person wanted to confuse anyone who followed. I turned back. Something deep inside warned me not to go farther. That night, the tapping returned, louder than before. I knew it was him. I stepped outside onto the upper deck. Cold air hit my face. I turned on the lights that faced the yard. He stood there again. Same smile, same eyes, same knife. He did not move. He did not react. He only stared. I stood frozen, staring back. The moment stretched. Then I made noise, a loud warning into the night. That changed something. He stepped back slowly, still facing me, still smiling. Then he faded into the trees, swallowed by the dark. After that night, I never saw him again. The tapping stopped. The footsteps stopped. The feeling slowly faded. But even now, years later, when I think of deep forests and quiet houses, my chest tightens. Because I know some places are never truly empty. And sometimes, when the woods are too quiet, something is still watching.